Hi, welcome to Praise Our Creations. I'm Marcos A. Rivera, and today we're going to be talking about the Rise and Pray Challenge, and that is coming up right next. So before I tell you exactly what it is, I want to tell you how it actually came about. Well, one of the things I do is I listen to inspirational either music or messages or podcasts while I'm shaving. And so a couple of days ago, I was actually listening to a Daymond podcast, which is called Rise and Grind. And in that time, I was thinking about, I wonder if I should get the audiobook, and it's something I may still do. And then I thought to myself, well, in the past, I've gotten a lot of these kind of self-help books. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of good things that you can actually get out of it, and you can actually learn as well. But one of the things that God has been showing me is that you can get tons and tons and tons of these books, and you can even practice them as well, and maybe you may become successful in life. But for me, what's most important is a successful relationship with God. And that was one of the other reasons why my thoughts had changed. I wanted to get this book, Rise and Grind, or anything else that I can ingest to get something I wanted. And that was the problem. I've been blessed with living in a beautiful home. I've been blessed that I actually have a bed to sleep in. I've been blessed that I actually eat. I'm able to eat lunch, dinner, breakfast. I have a car that I could drive. I have a loving family. And so when problem hits, or I need something, I'm always praying, what can I get from God? Or what can I get from listening to a podcast? Or what can I get from buying a certain book? And that's not what the Bible says about the way our relationship should be with God. So I wanted to switch that. I wanted to make my relationship with God a priority. I wanted to make being able to do something for God instead, and being open up to that. My God knows what I need, what I want, maybe what I'm desperate for. So I have to trust that I don't have to, quote unquote, nag him, but start switching my head and my ideas about being used by him, fellowshipping with him, learning about him. So one of the things that Jesus has done during his time on earth was to make a priority of spending time with the Father. And he would actually wake up much earlier than all the other disciples, go off to a private location where he could just be alone with God and pray. So when thinking about Rise and Grind, You know, you rise up, you wake up, and what do you do in order to be successful in business, be successful in your life? And I thought to myself, well, why don't I rise and pray? Why don't I take the time to actually get up a little earlier, which I'm going to be getting up the minimum of 15 minutes earlier each day, and just spend time with God. Now, I can be reading a devotional, which is really great. I can just pick out a passage from my Bible. I could spend the whole 15 minutes or more just praying. I can take a walk out, which I know a lot of people do, and they actually pray to God during that time or commune with Him. So I have a lot of different options, and I'm not going to necessarily limit myself or say, hey, this is the right way to do it, etc., etc. The most important thing is for me to start out my day spending time with God and Him spending time with me. Just be focusing on Him. Now, my goal is not to come to you guys and say, look, because I did this, I was able to get all this money, or I did this and my health is better, and I did this and all my problems have been solved. You know, that's not the reason why I'm doing this. I'm hoping that I can come to you and say that my relationship with God is far closer than it's ever been. My experience with God is much more greater than it's ever been. God using me is much greater than it's ever been. That is why I'm doing this challenge. And also, I'm challenging you to do this as well. Some of you guys already do this. Keep it up. And some of you guys are not. And maybe it's time for you to start. So I wanted to share that with you, and I wanted to share why I'm doing Rise and Pray. And like I said before, I hope you guys join me on this wonderful adventure. I'm actually going to be documenting my experience once a week, starting today. But this is something that I'm going to be doing for a lifetime. So I'm looking forward and really excited about what's going to happen, what God can do, and I hope that I can share more and more stories with you. And I wanted to explain to you why I've decided to do it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and also consider subscribing. And for wonderful gifts, please check out Praise Art Creations at the Etsy store. So until next time, create and be inspired.